Meeting, that was great. Well, welcome, everybody. Mark, I think, are you going to open the meeting? Just a few words?
Oh, only to say that, Matthew, you're in charge this evening, and I'm happy to be a part of it, but remotely. Take it away.
Well, welcome, everybody. Nice to have you here. And please, everyone, heed the warnings that were put out by the city. We have heat alerts out from the city. And I know that over at Boston Harbor City Cruises, we're taking a number of measures to keep our guests and our staff safe and as cool as possible these next few days. And then we'll see the temperatures go down. But nice to have everyone here. Well, you gotta listen to that all the time over here. Huh? All the time. I hear it all the time there. I don't live directly next to it. So. Anyway, let's welcome our officers from District A1, and nice to have you here. I believe I see Officer Ciampa is here, and I think I saw you after starting crossing. Nice to have you, and Officer Ciampa, you want to give us the rundown? We're all very curious about yesterday evening. We're all in a celebratory mood. I hope folks didn't over celebrate last night.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, I think we have the whole gang here on the call. If you need anyone, just ask questions, but I will do the brief rundown of the reports. If you have anything further, we'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Last night was long. It was exciting. It's great to get that victory. I'll tell you, I don't think we wanted to do it again Thursday and then Sunday. One kind of prep for it last week, and having them lose, especially by 40, was a major letdown. I really didn't want to do that another, 2-3 times. So it was nice that they won. It was a long night. Everyone celebrated. Some took it too far, obviously, as always, and expected, but nothing too crazy. I think we did all right overall, looking back at the night. So great job to all the guys and girls that were out there, and the fans that the majority obviously do celebrate the right way. So that being said, we're looking forward to the parade on Friday and kind of putting that in the rear view and enjoying the rest of the summer. As for your district, as usual, nothing too concerning. I'll run down what we have. We had a bomb threat on May 29th at 75 State Street that did result in an evacuation. A gentleman, and call him a gentleman, an individual went in there and he took out a laptop, wrote a bunch of things, stated that there was a bomb, and he just kind of took off. So obviously they called, we evacuated the building, bomb techs went in there, cleared the area, nothing concerning, no bomb or anything. But that was that. It did cause some commotion in our streets. So if you did notice anything on May 29th, that's what that was for. Couple of assaults. We had an assault with a knife late at night, 3:30 in the morning, Thursday, June 6th. An individual, 156 State Street. He was trying to take care of these two females who seemed overly intoxicated. He was kind of standing by with them. Not too sure about that, but a suspect approached him. They got in a verbal altercation over the females, and the suspect took out a knife and kind of put it towards placed it on his abdomen area, and then fled up State Street. So that victim called 911. He was pretty flustered, obviously. Detectives will further investigate that assault. That was the only one with a weapon. We had another one June 5th. That was on Wednesday, 11:30 at night, and that was with one of our EMTs. They assisted a man down. This is at Dirty Nelly's, 108 Blackstone Street. EMS arrives. They try to assist the guy. He becomes irate. Doesn't want the EMT to touch him. He kicks them, punches, and spit at the EMT. So obviously not too good. Officers responded, and we were able to get that individual off to the hospital. It seems like possibly some intoxication or mental health issues, and they'll be summoned or were summoned for A and B on ambulatory personnel and ambulance personnel. So they'll face the charges in court. The next assault was at 7 p.m. on Thursday, June 13th. That was located at the Hong Kong over in Faneuil Hall. This individual was going in to see his sister, who apparently was the bartender, and wanted to just go and say hi. He refused at the time, I guess, to give ID or anything like that, and the bouncers kind of told him that he still needed to provide that, you know, if he was going to enter the establishment, and they like kind of threw him to the ground, it seems, according to the report. And I think he had some sort of prosthetic which got dislodged, so it's kind of concerning. Obviously, we don't really want our bouncers putting hands on individuals if they don't have to. So this guy, obviously, he had some type of prosthetic that got knocked off. So he came in, walked in to do the report later that night. And then just one B&E over on 125 Broad Street, a spa over there. I may pronounce this wrong. In a sleep. That's 125 Broad, and that was at 9:15 p.m. on Friday. The owner of the spa called the next day, stated she had some footage. They stole upwards to $1,200 worth of like laptops and stuff, a bunch of spa materials, robes, incense. And funny thing about this was that she saw them leave like 7 hours later, and she kind of thought they may have like taken a nap in there, which is interesting. I've never heard of a B&E where someone takes a nap inside of the building, but they were in there for a very long time.
Yeah, and then you go, who's that?
We did have
Reading
a
that?
larceny over at Legal Seafoods. This guy goes into the dock approximately 5 p.m. Friday, June 7th. He goes into the dock. The guy lets him in. The suspect in this case, I believe, was a former delivery guy. So the custodian who let him in thought he was still working or making delivery. The guy goes in and stole a pretty good amount of shrimp and lobsters, obviously expensive. So he went in there and grabbed all that stuff and got out of there. But obviously, he had some video surveillance, and they were able to identify that this guy was, you know, a prior employee or delivery guy. So detectives do have that good information to work with. That's it for crime. Other than that, 9 a.m. on Wednesday, May 22nd, we did have a hazmat issue that was at the garage of 200 State Street. A truck hit its gas tank with about 20 gallons, cracked the gas tank of about 20 gallons of diesel, spilt all over the garage. So that also may have resulted in somewhat of a hectic kind of scene mess. Boston Fire hazmat responded to clean up. So, like I said, you know, you guys are usually in great shape, and nothing overly concerning to me. We're obviously tired, but we'll keep at it here at the police department. Looking forward to helping you guys over the weekend. So just reach out. Maybe the captain and sergeant are on the call too. So really, if you need anything, just let us know.
Yeah, well, thank you as always for everything the department does to keep us safe. And of course, we're all keenly aware of the birth of our nation being celebrated very soon. And so we're going to have a lot of activity down in the Wharf district here at Longwood and elsewhere, and Marketplace and all over the city. But yeah, I don't know if that may complicate matters, but we thank you for everything you do, and appreciate it very much. Before
you move on, does anyone have any questions,
any questions for Officer Ciampa or
comments? For the,
I was just wondering if you could drop in the best way to contact you. I just have a couple of questions about a few things I've heard come up on State Street, and I'd love to just touch base with one of you guys if I could.
I could put my email in the chat and you can reach out to me and we can.
Perfect. Thank you.
Go from there. Absolutely.
Any other questions or comments?
Have you caught the perpetrator in the Seaport shooting?
Doug was asking about the Seaport shooting, if there's been any progress.
So hey everyone, it's Sergeant Crossan. So the Seaport shooting is being investigated by the C6 detectives, the South Boston detectives. When you go over that bridge, that's the kind of the dividing line between our jurisdiction and the neighboring C6. But we can look into that and have an update for you guys if you'd like to next time.
Thank you, Sergeant. Appreciate that. Before we head into the main part of our agenda, I just want to say that we have a very robust agenda tonight. We have some exciting and really interesting things that we're going to be hearing about. But it's a crowded agenda, even though Council President Russi Louis-Jean could not be here this evening. She was planning on attending, but they had a last minute some sort of budget conference come up, and she definitely wants to attend an upcoming meeting, and so we'll be following up with Council President, and she definitely will be here, but she could not be here this evening. But we do have plenty of other items on the agenda. So, and we want to start here?
Right, true.
Yes. So, Suzanne, can you fill us in on what's going on with this?
Trillium.
Can we move the microphone down a bit?
Can everybody hear me? Trillium is requesting a letter of support from the residents and businesses in the Wharf District regarding getting a non-live entertainment license. And basically what it is having music in their area, which would be obviously played during when they're open, but it would not be live and it would be low and not going outside of their surroundings. But we have their team here to talk to us about it, and I will turn it over to Tyler and the folks representing Trillium.
Thank you very much. Tyler Hensler here on behalf of Trillium. With me, joining me from Trillium is Liam.Mahoney, who is the manager at this location, as well as Mario Watkins and Brandon.Keating joining us from Trillium. Look, pretty simple application, looking to add non-live entertainment in the form of audio speakers and board games. The board games, just something to do with the picnic tables. If you're familiar with that space, it's perfect for it. Plenty of room over there. Things like Jenga, Yahtzee, Uno, some of my personal favorites. But if you have any suggestions, or you go by and you don't see any of the games that you like to play, give us a suggestion. We're always happy to add to our collection. For the speakers, obviously the concern there for outdoor speakers is disruption to the neighbors. You're familiar with that location. It's on an island between Purchase Street and Atlantic Ave. There are some, hotels, some apartments over there, but the speakers we will use will be kept at below conversation level, just creating atmosphere, kind of an ambiance. So it won't be, louder than you or I could have a conversation at. It's not music that you'll have to shout over. It'll be kept at a low volume. And those low volumes coupled with a directed sound technique, all the speakers will basically be turned inward. This will contain any sound to that traffic island and really only be audible to people in our patio fenced in area. So with that, we're happy to take any questions, but yeah, pretty straightforward today, but thank you for having us.
The one other thing that is on the request is also board games. So I just throw it out.
Yes, sorry. I only mentioned some of my personal favorites, Jenga, Uno, and Yahtzee, but if you might see Scrabble on the shelf or Sorry, the kind of the same vein. Just people get together and It's a beautiful space. They like to spend time there, and that's just something for them to do that, honestly, you know, you apparently need a license for. So we're here, we'll apply for it.
I'm still partial to Candyland after all these years. Just throwing that in there. And when you say the level settings are kept below conversation level, is there some sort of decibel level that I don't know is required under which you have to be, or?
So there is a decibel level ordinance for the city of Boston. I believe it's 50. I get the Trillium folks might know this a little better, but we will be well below what is legally allowed. We'll be well below it. It'll generally be an ear test thing, like, you know, again, so you don't have to talk over it. It'll be at a very low level where that decibel limit won't even come into play. But there's apps on your phone that you can get that measure decibel level very easily, very accessibly. So we will definitely be below, you know, that mandated level, but, you know, well below it, to the point where again, it's conversation level. So
Thank you. Norm, did I see your hand up?
So I had the same question. I was worried about the decibel level because living at Harbor Towers, we are subject to the Tuesday to Thursday bans from Rose Wharf, the occasional bans on City Hall Plaza, the occasional bans on the Greenway. And I've measured over 80 dB at my window on the 29th floor.
Oh, wow. So I don't know, the decibel level that I'm talking about is for non-live speakers. So that would be live entertainment. So I don't have that information at hand, but that's not what we're applying for. We're non-live, no live bands with this application. Just speakers that'll be kept, again, well below that 50 decibel level.
Okay, as long as it's there, no problem at all. Thank you.
And are there other questions from the folks on Zoom or anyone in the room?
If someone had a complaint or concern, who should they go to?
Oh, so the manager of record at that location is Liam.Mahoney. Liam is on this call, I believe, and he's generally available, you know, at all times of operation. So he's on site, and his number will be with the licensing board. You have to provide that. So there's a number you can call.
Is there an email address that maybe you can put in the chat that we can use in case we need to contact?
Liam, please feel free to do that. That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Thank you. That would be appreciated. Any other comments or questions about Trillium's request?
I would just add that at the end of this meeting, public meeting, we will have an executive session for voting members only, where we'll have a chance to finalize our conclusion about that and let you know afterwards our feelings about the application.
Okay, so at the end of the whole meeting, or when you close the public?
After we close the public and
Okay.
folks from the public have gone, then we'll have a discussion, and Suzanne will let you know right away.
Okay, great. I will add, before we close the public session, the hours, which I forgot to mention, are Tuesday. So it's closed Mondays. Music would only be allowed through these speakers Tuesday to Thursday, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m., Friday to Saturday, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., and Sundays, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. So 8 p.m. is the latest that we'd be playing music. And we'd ask just for the extended hours till, to start at noon on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Thank you for that clarification. That's helpful. And I see Brandon.Keating is put. Brandon, thank you. putting your, and Liam's, emails in there as well. Thank you all. Well, thank you
Matt, it's
for-
Chris Cook. Is it okay to
Chris.
add something?
Absolutely.
I just wanted to, yeah, I just wanted to say that obviously we're pretty proud of the relationship we have with Trillium. They've been incredibly responsive partners in this space on the Greenway. But I'm also fully cognizant that this is your neighborhood. So if anyone has any issues whatsoever, if this moves forward with your support, you can also feel very, very comfortable reaching out to me directly, and we will address for folks. If you're uncomfortable dealing directly with Trillium, you can obviously go through the Greenway. We enjoy that relationship as a member of the Wharf District Council, and thank you for your consideration, whatever ends up being the decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
I would also like to add that Trillium has been in the neighborhood for what, 5 years now? Is it 5
Probably.
at least? And we've had a wonderful relationship with them, the neighborhood and the folks who live and work here. So we look forward to continuing that, and I'm sure that this enhancement will benefit both you and the neighborhood. So we look forward to hopefully with their vote supporting you in your efforts.
That's a good point. Since you seem to be here on long-term basis, friends from Trillium may want to join the Wharf District Council.
Yes.
That's an invitation.
Took the words out of my mouth.
Mario, let's talk offline about that, but I would take off on that.
Thank you very much for being here, and we look forward to imbibing over the course of the summer. If you have non-alcoholic Rubins over there. Oops. And so, thank you.
I believe so, but Liam can speak more. On that.
It's a rhetorical. Thank you so much, and we're going to keep moving along. There's a lot to go over, but thank you, folks from Trillium. Nice to have you here. And we have Chelsea Doliner here, who is the Chief Marketing Engagement Officer at Boston Public Market. They joined this year, joined the Wharf District Council. We're so pleased to have them, and I can say that I have visited more often since you all became members, because you've raised my awareness about all the great things that are going on there. So I'm going to pull up your presentation here, and Chelsea, you can start talking and tell us about yourself. Where is it? I think this is it.
That is it.
Okay.
So I am Chelsea Doliner, and I'm the Chief Marketing and Engagement Officer for Boston Public Market.
Can I just add, can you hear her all right? Because we can move the microphone.
Oh, it sounded fine.
So I've been with the market for about 4 years. I joined in March of 2020, which will be a significant date for all of you. I started about 3 days before the mayor at the time shut the city down. So it was quite the introduction. We were then closed for 6 months, as many of you will know. We reopened in September of 2020, and we absolutely love being part of this neighborhood. We think it's so vital to have an access point for all of these farmers and food entrepreneurs to be able to sell their wares and really connect with the heart of our city and the heart of our Commonwealth right in downtown Boston. And now I would say more than ever, as we continue to recover from COVID more slowly, especially this neighborhood than many of the others, we really rely upon our neighbors, our residents, to help us fill that gap with the people who are not visiting quite as often anymore, the office workers, the people like that. And so we're really excited to be here and to engage with you all today. And I'll give a little overview and then share some things that we kind of have coming up at the market. So about the market, just for those of you who don't know, we're a year-round indoor marketplace. We feature diverse offerings from all across New England. Everything sold in the market needs to be made, produced, or grown within New England. Right now, probably all of our vendors are from Massachusetts specifically throughout the entire Commonwealth, which we're really proud of. And the vendors that we have really fall into 3 categories that we curate very carefully with a lot of intention. And that's what we kind of consider our grocer vendors. So Farmhouse Meats, Red's Best Seafood, Hearth and Hug Bakery, the produce farms, Stillman, Sienna, Red Apple. those items that you can grocery shop and supply your entire house with. The other category is prepared food, kind of artisanal prepared packaged items. So that could be Seven Hills pasta that you can buy both packages of pasta, or you can buy a pasta dish to take home with you or eat for lunch. We have a wide variety of ethnic backgrounds that are represented in our prepared foods, and it's really a battle to go down there during lunchtime and decide what you're gonna buy. And then our final category is artisanal products, and that could be something like Peterman's bowls and boards that are these gorgeous, large-scale handcrafted bowls made from fallen trees throughout New England. It could be Laurel Greenfield's art, who is a local artist. Her art is inspired by food memories, very vivid and beautiful. And so, like I said, it's really important to us to curate the market in those three categories and keep them pretty well balanced. It's really easy for a public market nowadays to become a food hall because it's more prepared food is more profitable, but that was never the intention or the mission of the marketplace. It was really designed, like I said, to allow a wide variety, especially farmers, fishers, and a variety of food entrepreneurs to have an access point to the downtown stage and
Excuse
sell
me.
their wares.
Excuse me, are you sharing a presentation? Or are you just talking?
Oh, no, you can't see the.
No, could
the
you share?
slides.
No, can you share it, please?
Oh, I am so sorry. I thought it was on the screen. Let me see. Share, agree and share button. Oh, yes, of course. I'm so sorry. And those disabled participant screen sharing. Oh,
No, all right, sorry, hang on. Go ahead.
yeah. I try again. Sorry about that.
Thank you for saying something.
Yeah.
There we go.
And let me get to.
No one needs to look at my face for that long.
Okay, is it visible now?
Yeah, but can you go to slideshow version?
Yes, I tried to just
Quick.
reduce it.
Go around the top bar, click from current slide. Yeah, click.
Yeah. See it, yeah, I tried to do this earlier.
It
There you
worked,
go.
it worked.
Oh, we're
No.
up there, stop.
No,
Thank you.
not for us.
Oh, here. So you can't see the slide at all?
Well, we see the slide, but it's got all sorts of other stuff. It's the wrong version. Can you?
Maybe press the Windows key.
Yeah.
And switch your mirror.
We'll live. Go ahead.
I think if you hit the Windows key and then P at the same time, it'll show your screen mirroring options.
Windows and what?
P. And you should be able to change the mirror.
Piece the screen only, duplicate.
I think duplicate, yeah.
Yeah, you got to change it to presenter mode. Go to display settings up top,
Okay.
right on the top bar.
All right. Show task bar here.
Display settings, next
Display
one.
settings, there'll be presenter mode.
Okay, sorry, y'all, hold on a second. I don't see where you're referring to.
You were right there. You go up the top.
Yeah,
Yep,
here,
yep,
Exactly.
yep.
duplicate.
Plot presenter and slideshow mode.
It's grayed out for me.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
All right, go ahead. Just go, we can see it.
Okay. Three categories, something like that. Wherever I was, yeah. I'll just go to the next bullet point because that makes sense too. One of the things that a lot of people don't know about the market is that we're actually a nonprofit organization. So we're a mission-driven nonprofit. This is from our annual report, but I won't read it all to you. You can, well, hopefully see it, or we'll share this presentation hopefully afterwards, but it just gives a glimpse at some of the outstanding work that we do. So we're one of the leaders in the Commonwealth for SNAP and HIB sales, which are nutrition assistance programs that help underprivileged individuals purchase healthy food. We were named in the top 10 of best public markets in the country this year. We were number 7, which we're really proud of. A lot of the people on that list are far, far older and far more established than we are. We have a very diverse group of vendors. We welcome over 100 different pop-ups into the market every year, which both help diversify the market's population, diversify the market's offerings, and then also acts as a really great feeder program into our full-time vendor stalls. And we were happy that we had 1.5, almost 1.6 million people visit the market last year alone. We can go ahead to the next one. You probably won't be able to read this either, but I just wanted to give a quick glimpse of.
We're looking at the note view, that's the problem.
Oh, I see.
One of the bottoms at the top, or sorry, bottom row.
Well, either way, this is just an overview of our vendors. We have more than 30 vendors in the market right now. We're nearly 100% full in our occupancy levels. We are saving just a couple of stalls for this really outstanding program that we have called our Entrepreneurship Forum, which is powered by Citizens Bank, where we lead a group of very small early stage startup businesses in a series of seminars. And at the end of the seminars, they are able to pitch in a Shark Tank style pitch day for a free stall in the market. So those will be announced in the next couple of weeks, which is why we've got one stall open. But we're really proud that the market has been so well populated lately. And it's, like I said, it's a really great curation of vendors right now, which you will be able to read when we share the PowerPoint.
Do those boxes list the vendors?
Yeah, so all of those list in the so you can see an overview probably of the categories, at least, of vendors that we have. So you'll see we have a really great diverse range of products that you can be purchased from the market. So it can be a place that you get lunch when you're working from home. It can be a place where you do your grocery shopping, and it can be a great place to do gifts, especially around the holidays.
I do recommend the pastrami sandwiches. That's one of my regular.
That's what we were saying, is that every person who is a fan of the market has a different favorite vendor. Popover lady, yeah. That one comes up a lot. And so it's really great to find something that you love there and kind of becomes your go-to. You can go to the next one. I'll just go over a few things that we do as a nonprofit. Community engagement and outreach is a really important part of what we do. Not only does it help to drive foot traffic for us and sales for the vendors, but we are really ingrained in the community, and it's one of our key mission points to do that. So you'll see a quick screenshot of our June calendar there. We have over 30 public facing events every month, which can range from anything as simple as a vendor doing a tasting in our demo stall. Union Square Donuts did a dip your own munchkin today, where you could dip it in whatever flavor you wanted and add your own sprinkles, just as a way to get people engaged with their product who might not have tried it yet. We do tons of kids programming, especially on the weekends. We have a magician that comes in. We have Jeff Jams who does a kids sing along. All of those are really fun. We have weekly Wednesdays and Thursdays trivia and musical bingo respectively. We just moved trivia outside onto the patio for the summer, weather permitting. So it's just a really fun, kind of easy way to get people into the market to have a lot of fun. And we're also doing live music on the patio every Friday and most Saturdays through the end of August. You can go to the next slide.
May I understand, with all of these activities, whether it's family oriented or you know, other kinds of activities, are you specific, how are you getting the word out about these things? Because there may not be just people in the neighborhood, but people coming into the city.
Exactly. So we utilize a wide range of sources. Obviously, social media and newsletters are a free, really easy tool for us. We have over 100,000 followers combined along our social media, and we've got about 25,000 subscribers in our newsletter. So that's become a really easy key source for us. We also make sure all of these events are placed on all of the local calendars. So this is on our website, but we also share them with Boston.com. We put almost everything on Eventbrite, which is a really easy way to get in touch with people who might just be coming into the city for a day and trying to figure out something to do. And then there's an endless kind of array of different local and regional calendars that try to pull curated events. Like the Chamber of Commerce does one for Boston. There's something called Mommy Poppins that does a lot of kids focused events. And so we just try to tag all of those to make sure that everything that we're doing is somewhere that could be found by neighbors or visitors.
Excellent, thank you.
Do you send out like a newsletter or something?
Yeah, we send out 2 to 3 newsletters a month. So we're trying to hit that sweet spot of not annoying you all, but making sure that you have a good amount of information. So we tend to send one either in the last few days of the month or the first few days with our calendar for that upcoming month. And then for key events, we'll send something like Oyster Fest. We'll send another reminder or 2 throughout the course of the month, just to make sure that you don't forget about us.
We should get on that mailing list.
Yeah, I can add you. So speaking of the bigger side of our programming, events are what we call festivals. We have one coming up on Sunday, so I couldn't not tell you about it. But it's Oyster Fest. It's a fan favorite. it really celebrates Red's Fest and the great local work that they do and gives some education about aquaculture, all while eating oysters. I just wanted to make sure you all knew about it so you could come. If you can see the QR code, it does scan, you can scan it there, or you can go to our website, which is bostonpublicmarket.org, or I put the Eventbrite link there, which is a little bit longer if you wanted to try to click that. But if you buy tickets ahead of time, you get discounted packages. We're gonna have 3 varieties of oysters. We're gonna have live music, a whole accoutrement to go along with the oysters. The Pine Bar beer or beverage beer truck, which is right on our patio, will be open for a cash bar. It's just gonna be a fun, really great, weather permitting, knock on wood. It will be rain or shine, but hopefully we have some shine on Sunday. And the last thing, I just want to make sure that you all know about, because it's literally out your back door, is the new location of our Boston Public Market on the Greenway. So for many, many years, the Boston Public Market held a seasonal farmers market at Dewey Square. It's been a challenging past couple of years since COVID with that location, because it relies so heavily upon commuter traffic right outside of South Station and office workers. And without that return that we were expecting, we worked with Chris Cook in the Greenway to identify a new location for the market this year. So it's just kind of one parcel up from here, I think. What direction? One parcel up from here, between Milk Street and India Street. It's on Thursdays between 2 and 6. And those vendors are different than the vendors in the market. So it's a great way to kind of hit both of them. It's a rotating selection of vendors. You'll find somebody different every week. And it runs from last Thursday through late October, early November. And so it's just, we wanted to make sure you all knew about it so you could do your shopping right outside your door.
Super.
That's the last slide, but I'm happy to take any questions that anyone might have.
It's a great venue for corporate events too. I've attended 2 different events after hours of public market. So.
Yes, we do have a great private events program. We have a really signature style event that we call Taste of the Market, which is where we shut down the market to the public and open it to private groups. And we have vendors serve out of their stall, and they interact with the guests and tell them about themselves and their business and the offerings that they have. We have a great, not quite in-house band, but might as well be, who is a manager at one of the stalls, and he's really talented. And we are happy to always make that connection and bring in any level of education that you want with our vendors, speaking programs or activations with things like that too.
Not that I want to overexpose Chris Cook's presence here, but I know that Chris, you have a relationship, I think, with the Boston Public Market, yes?
Yeah, I just wanted to encourage. So we really think the Boston Public Market is a real companion piece to what makes this such an exciting place for folks to visit. But I do think in Boston, we have a tendency to not fully take advantage of these amazing tourist destinations that we have located in some of our backyards. And we couldn't ask for a better partner at the Greenway than the Boston Public Market. We're super excited about the new location for the farmers market. So we've been really excited about everything that they're offering. And I hope that the Wharf District Council, now with them as members, start to feel more ownership over it as well. It's a really amazing resource, and we're very proud of the relationship.
Thanks, Chris. I'll add one other, while we're talking about how great the Greenway is, I'll add one other piece of information, is that I think I shared with you 2 meetings ago when Jenny from Faneuil Hall was on, but we, in partnership with the Greenway and A Better City, received $1 million grant from the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism just about a year ago to help really brand this corridor as a tourism destination, as opposed to individual things. We really want to create a cohesive experience with the Greenway and some of the businesses that belong to A Better City. And so that campaign is called, you can go to the website, it's letsexploreboston.com. You have probably seen some of our banners along the Greenway that say, let's go exploring, let's go tasting. We also have the solar recycling kiosks, which is a fancy word for trash cans. And with that, there's also a full page ad in Food and Wine magazine, Real Simple and Travel and Leisure, that came out in May, as well as billboards kind of with greater than 50 miles away, so that it helps to draw tourists into this corridor of downtown Boston, especially during the shoulder season. So Chris and the Greenway have been outstanding partners in that, and we really look forward to, we have 1 more year of that grant to doing even more with what we have remaining.
You still do the cooking lessons? Cooking.
So we do cooking classes in a slightly different way. The kitchen space, which is where the classes used to be held, is now leased by Seven Hills Pasta as their production facility. So it's actually really cool. They're producing the pasta that goes both fresh and into their boxes right in the back of the Boston Public Market. But we do cooking classes in other areas of the market. So we have pasta making classes. Our new baker, Hearth and Hug, will do cooking or decorating classes. She's a really talented baker and cookie and cake decorator. And then our other vendors offer some classes as well. We have Life Bloom Candle, who was our entrepreneurship forum winning last year, and you can make your own candles, scent and all with them. We did it for our holiday party, and it was surprisingly extremely entertaining for everybody, male, female, all age demographics. So the vendors themselves have a lot of different offerings as well that we can help coordinate for small groups.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? As Chelsea said, there's much more than just pastrami, but I do recommend it. But are there other questions from anyone present?
Oh, last hit, we do, if you park in the garage above us, we do parking validation, $3 for 3 hours with any purchase at the market. So if you're looking for someplace to park on Friday.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Was there a question?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, Chelsea, thank you so much. I mean, there is just so much that you have to offer there, and we really appreciate you being here and giving us a good taste of what we have there. Thank you all. Thank you so much. And feel free to stick around or
She has.
I'll stick around for a little bit. I want to hear about Harbor Fest.
Okay. Thank you for being here. Thanks so much. So we also have a presentation, and I'm going to see if we can.
I sent you a PDF version in your email, so you should have a new one.
Yeah, I downloaded it. So I have both.
I want to make it easy for you. I know it was 2 files
Oh, that's all
before.
right. Let's see. This one I can. Okay, so getting rid of this one. It's all right. So here's part one, but I do look like, now, right now, Mark, can you see what's on my screen or no?
Cannot.
You see nothing.
Correct.
You are sharing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me. And I will gladly accept it. So here's, I'm gonna share. And am I sharing the screen or am I sharing a particular window? I should be able to just share the screen, yes.
Yeah.
It starts sharing.
All right, so now you're sharing.
All right. And I'm going here.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can go to if you go to your email, you should have a PDF that you can pop up from me.
Okay.
Just sent over a few minutes ago.
Oh, hang on a minute. So it's, oh gosh, I think of this thing I'm moving. When I look forward.
That's all Suzanne.
I know. I was hearing from Suzanne, of course. I'm trying, I need to get this way so I can search for your.
Honestly, I don't use Outlook that much, but if you just double click your inbox, it might take you out of your search view.
Yeah.
Without.
Very informal though.
That's
No.
Oh, why is this thing?
There, you're right there.
There we go. Yay, okay. Chelsea, I'll find you here.
This is our job.
This is great. No.
I think it's kind of late at the top.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Emily, I'm sorry.
Basically yell. This is the.
Emily, there she is.
Right there.
Y'all are being so patient with me, and so this is the. Get that open.
We're just so happy we're not in
There you go.
your city.
So no one's jumping out to help.
Okay, Mark, can you see this?
Yes.
All right.
Right.
Thank you for your patience. And so we are happy to have Emily Fabiano from Ventures. And one of your specialities is the upcoming Harbor Fest.
Yes, and I also have my colleague Carol Willison here with me.
Oh, nice.
The last time she did this event, she was an intern, and now she's a part of the planning process and working on it as kind of a co-manager with me. So The two of us have been working on this project for a few months now. Of course, it's an annual event for the city, and we are so excited and glad to be putting this on for everyone inside the city and without coming from different countries. We get calls from all over saying that they're flying in and wanting to make sure that they have their itinerary all set up for Harbor Fest. So we're really excited to put this on in the next 2 weeks. So if anyone didn't know, this is Boston Harbor Fest, and it will be taking place from Monday, July 1st through July 4th. In the heart of Boston, of mainly in Downtown Crossing, as well as Christopher Columbus Park. So you want to go down to the next one. Oops.
There we go.
So just a little bit about Boston Harbor Fest. It's a family-friendly event. We are welcome to all ages. Everyone is welcome to come and celebrate with us. We have multiple activations, like I said, between Downtown Crossing as well as Christopher Columbus Park with sponsorships, kids activities, entertainment, live entertainment. We have a special event called Chowder Fest that I'll talk a little bit more later on. And of course, the annual fireworks over the harbor as well. This generates just about over 100,000 guests over the course of the few days that will get some foot traffic through both areas. So it's a great spot for everyone to get a glimpse of what Boston is all about. So moving on to our signature events, we go on to our next slide.
Oops.
Yep, so these two are our opening ceremony. So typically, and usually for Boston Harbor Fest, we have one opening ceremony, which is our kickoff. But this year we are featuring Navy Week with Harbor Fest. So essentially we have the group of Navy Week coming up with their bands and kind of integrating and partnering with Harbor Fest to do some pop-ups and integrate their recruitments into our activations to get a face and forefront here in Boston, as well as a ship that I will speak on a little bit later of the Oscar Austin that will be arriving at Black Falcon and open to tourists to the public. So it's a nice feature that is coming into Harbor Fest and kind of a prep for Sail Boston in 2026 that we are also prepping for. So it's a nice lead up this year that we will get going in 2026 as well. So for the kickoffs, we'll have the Navy Week kickoff will be at City Hall Plaza with a nice brief speaking program and the raising of the flag. That'll be at 10 a.m. And then we have our annual opening ceremony on Monday, July 1st at noon to about 1 p.m. with a nice speaking program from a few leadership point of views in the city and the district, as well as our annual ceremonial cake cutting that will be open to the public as well. And that was last year's on the right-hand side that you see.
It's a beauty. And tasty.
Yeah, it took an army to get it passed out. Some more things that will continue in Downtown Crossing. Like I said, we'll have music and live performances from the 1st through the 3rd. A new addition that we are having this year is really activating a stage on Summer Street. We typically do a lot of our performances on the Franklin steps, but this year we have looked into kind of emphasizing and creating more of a roar around getting people to stick around for some more live entertainment and building it up through the day and over the course of the days for some headliners to really get that traction and keep the flow going as we've had in previous years. We will also have reenactors as usual for our lovely historians that like to keep that tradition going as well. We also have the Macy's Great American Fashion Show, and that is an annual event that lots of people love to attend. We have young models that come out and do a little fashion show. This will now take place on the Summer Street stage and do a little fashion show for the public to showcase the new summer trends. Another addition that we have this year is a beer garden. So we have a little schedule up on the screen there from the 1st to the 3rd, ending at 8 p.m. each day, starting at 4 on the 1st and then 2 on the 2nd and 3rd. That will be on Summer Street in front of the stage as well, enclosed area. You won't be able to roam in there, but on the 3rd, if you scroll down to the next page, no problem.
So is there kind of a mission that's necessary to get into the?
This is more of like the overview of all the events right now, and then I can get into that after.
Whoops. Oh, yeah.
So going into or off of the beer garden, we will have another new element since our connection with the Navy Week of having a block party. So we're looking to close off Summer Street completely and have that open for the public to expand that beer garden into letting them roam on the street and into the nearby areas to enjoy music on the Summer Street stage as well from 4 to 8. And then at that 6 o'clock point, it will turn to 21+, and we'll of course have security and a process for that to be known. And my favorite, and it's something that I started off with Harbor Fest when I came onto this account, was managing Chowder Fest.
Oh, wow.
So that is kind of like my baby for this event. But we really enjoy bringing in vendors, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. So we have vendors come in from Cape Cod, from Boston, outside areas that come and do samples of their own style of chowder. So last year we had kind of an Irish style chowder from the Dubliner, who was a new vendor, and they actually, in the sense, won because they're the last one standing. They were still going. We have like BU Dining. We have Legal Seafoods that's participated, Love Art Sushi, Joe's Waterfront. So it's a really great way to get the public involved, and everyone loves now that we're bringing back the element of the public getting to vote on the best chowder. So that is something everyone is looking forward to. Now it'll be at 2 p.m. on Washington Street, right across from the Franklin Steps.
So that element went away in a period of time, I mean, because of COVID or?
For the voting?
Yes.
It was more of a voting portion of some higher ups on my side, and also we do this in partnership with Boston Better Improvement District. So we work side by side with them on this event. They have certain things that they handle, and we have ours, but we also obviously work together.
Yeah.
And last year, what we did was having like the mayor and government officials be the judges. And that was a fun element to do, but we did get feedback. We took their feedback that the public would really like to be the judges again this year. So we're bringing back that element to kind of make that happen again. And it was just kind of a tester to see if it worked out better, how to go. So we're excited to bring it back though.
Me too.
Yeah. So moving out of Downtown Crossing, this actually turns into Kara's main territory of Christopher Columbus Park that I passed off to her. So this is an activation that we're trying to make better and better each year. It was quite new the past year or two, and we're trying to enhance it and make it more appealing and a space that is really connected to Harbor Fest outside of downtown to get more awareness and really expand people getting to explore Boston overall. So we have Christopher Columbus Park, and that will be kids activations or kids activities, face painting, and we have Knuckle Bones, which is a nice company that we use for a lot of our events that are like stationary activities for them to do. They have like a basketball hoop that they can set up and hula hoops and just kind of different toys that can be spread out on kind of like a kid's lawn game, essentially. So we have that, so the parents can then enjoy the sponsorship activations where they'll be sampling coffees in Celsius. And we also have our live entertainment that we have set up from 1 to 6 p.m. And then going into the pre-firework concert, another touch of Navy Week is that we are having the Navy Band Northeast that will do the 7:45 to 9 p.m. portion of the concert to lead us up into our annual harbor fireworks. And that will always take place at the harbor, at the inner harbor. And the best place to view it is from Christopher Columbus Park. So we make sure that we have a nice area for the public to view that. And a nice touch from the Navy Band to kick us off there. And that'll be at 9:15 p.m. that the fireworks will go off. We can move on to the next slide. And so these are the festivities that we have going on the 4th of July. This is something that my company and myself, I don't personally manage. This is mainly from the bid side, so Boston Better Improvement District, but they handle the majority of these events and logistics. But I just wanted to display them so everyone was aware of them. So we have our annual Independence Day parade that will be at City Hall Plaza at 9 a.m. The annual reading of the Declaration of Independence at the Old State House. We, of course, have our Middlesex County Volunteer Fife and Drum Concert. That'll be in Downtown Crossing. Still figuring out the timing for that. But we will keep everyone posted. And then the annual oration at 10:30 at Faneuil Hall. We have our Frederick Douglass speech as well, and a nice ice cream social afterwards. Bribe the kids to come with you. And then the Boston Pops fireworks will be at 7 p.m. at the Esplanade. And if any of these, if you missed anything or went through them too fast, we do have our schedule on our website that I linked at the bottom on the last slide for everyone to check out. It has a more in-depth detail with locations, times, descriptions, pictures, and even like the nitty-gritty mini events that will be taking place with maps as well.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
On the Frederick Douglass speech,
Mm-hmm.
what are the Franklin steps?
The Franklin steps are located off of Washington Street in between Winter and Bromfield. So when you look on it, we've been trying over the years to figure out the best way to describe it and locate it on a map, because when you type in Franklin steps, it doesn't always direct you to that location. So this year we tried to kind of give points of Washington Street in between those two streets. Like I said, it's on our map. It will be on the brochure that we'll be passing out to the neighboring areas next week. But
Where the big whale was.
yes,
Right here. And
yes,
it's-
where the big whale was.
I call them Times Square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's typically where everything usually, when we didn't have the Summer Street stage being our main home base of where all the activations will be taking place. That is where we are describing the Franklin steps.
I keep thinking of Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah.
And then we have the USS Constitution underway that we're incorporating as well, to make everyone aware about their turnaround that will be happening. So there's a description there, and around 11 a.m. is when the 21 gun salute will go off and do their turnaround at Castle Island, and then make their way back down to the shipyard at around 1 or 2 p.m. So yeah, that's a nice little addition to Harborfest as well. And right there is the link of Boston Harbor Fest that you can find any more additional information and my contact information as well. If you have any further questions later on. But yeah, anyone have any questions?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very exciting.
I had one question. This is Tim Carr from Old Town Trolley Tours. And I heard you just actually mention, my question was about brochures. If you had some that you could give to us, I heard you just mention that you were going to be giving some out. So, do you know if you have an ample supply to hand out to some of the other, operations and attractions on this call and out there to make sure that we get them into the hands of our guests, near the end of June, so that people that are around and could potentially just drive back for the 4th of July or Harbor Fest specifically, that we could have those at our sales locations or on our trolleys to hand out?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually just did our brochure distribution list today. And I can send that over to Matt if he wants to share it with the rest of the group. We do mostly hotels and concierge desks because of tourism, but we're happy to expand that. And we usually do about, I think, 30 to 50,000 copies, and we split that up between BID and ourselves. But I'm more than happy if you guys have certain destination or areas that you guys would like to have them stationed, and we're more than happy to drop them off there as well.
Yeah, we'd love to have some. So that our guest service agents can be informed about what's happening nearby, and it'd be great.
So we're talking like Old Town.
Old Town Trolley, Boston Harbor City Cruises. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Interested, yeah.
Yeah, they're on there too. Yeah.
Certainly, we can do that. We're aiming for June 25th and 26th. To
Boston
get those
Duck
out.
says yes.
Great.
Who is that?
Yeah.
Boston Duck Tours? Who is that?
Oh, it's Matt.
Hey, how you doing? Any other questions? So, yeah, 10, great one, great question. Are there any questions for Emily and anything that gone over? Is I have just a question, because I don't recall this, but the music, the pre-fireworks music, is the Navy band, did you say?
This year, it will be the Navy band. Typically, last year, we had Sweet Harmony that was leading up to it.
Okay.
So this year, we will have I believe it's Sons of Lebanon that is leading up before. From 1 to 6, we'll have a few, just regular live, entertainment. And then the Navy band will come in at 7:45 and do their performance up
That's great.
until the, start of the fireworks. Yeah, we're excited for that.
Super. Yeah, hey, so reaching out to anybody on Zoom here, any questions about Harbor Fest? And from a tourism standpoint, I'm kind of pleased that the fourth falls on Thursday this year.
We are.
It means we're going to have a busy weekend before and after. We hope.
Oh, and I just saw Chris's comment. I also want to mention, I apologize, Chris, for leaving this out, but the Greenway is very kindly, we're in partnership with them for free carousel rides that we have kind of developed a relationship with them between Harbor Fest and First Night Boston, which is another event that I manage on behalf of Boston Celebrations Conventures. So that will be open on July 2nd this year. So thank you, Chris.
Yeah, I knew Chris would find another way.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. And anyone else questions here? Great, well, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having us.
Everybody's excited. I give a little pep talk to all of our crew members and guest service agents that, you know, for Mardi Gras, you go to New Orleans. For New Year's Eve, you'll be in Times Square, but 4th of July, this is the place to be. You know, this is where it all happened. It's a very exciting, we're very blessed to be in this great city for this holiday. So thank you very much.
Thank you. We're excited to put it on for everyone.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
What was
it?
I was like, imagine.
Yeah. So Suzanne is going to introduce us to some newcomers here at the Wharf District Council and tell us about a potential attraction that's going to be.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I received an email this week from Rob asking if he and his folks could come and talk to us about a new feature in the Wharf District and in Boston, the Museum of Illusions, which would be located in Boston Marketplace Center, which is 200 State Street. And I noticed that Rob Cooper and Jason Mitchell and Stacy Set, I believe, are on the Zoom link, and I'd like to welcome them and ask them to tell us a little bit about their project and welcome them to the Wharf District.
Well, thank you. This is Rob. Hope everyone can hear me. And I appreciate you guys having me here today, and thank you for giving us the forum to talk about our concept that we're very excited about bringing to Boston. I do have a presentation. I actually sent it via email, but I can also share it from my end. Perhaps I could try.
Can you?
Sure, that's just as easy. Go ahead.
Okay, let's see if I can do that.
Yep.
How's that?
It's good.
That's good.
Great.
Check
Perfect.
Check your slide mode down there in the right hand corner.
Are you seeing slide?
Nope.
What are you seeing?
We're seeing your PowerPoint program.
Oh, you are. You're seeing my PowerPoint program?
Yep.
All right. Let's see. How's that? Different?
Nope.
It's okay. Yeah, we can still see it. All right.
Yeah, apologies for that. It looks like I'm kind of in the same program that everyone else was.
Yeah, it's weird. Go ahead.
But anyway, again, thank you for having us, and I'd be remiss if I didn't congratulate everyone for the Celtics win yesterday. I actually am sitting and born and raised in Philadelphia, and we haven't had a winning team in decades. So congratulations. It's fantastic. And I'm here accompanied by with my team. Jason Mitchell is our Chief Operating Officer, along with Stacy Steck, who's our Head of Marketing, and they're both located in Chicago. I'm the CEO of a company called LOL Entertainment, and we are the ones responsible for attempting to bring Museum of Illusions to Boston, and we certainly hope we can. Okay, so today I know I have about 15 minutes, so I'll try to keep it very short and brief, and certainly welcome questions at the end. But the agenda is very simple. I'd like to explain kind of who we are and how we got here. It's kind of a long, winding story. What is the Museum of Illusions? Of course, we need to understand exactly what that is and what that means for the city of Boston, and of course, the benefits and impacts the Wharf District and the downtown Boston area. I think we can bring a lot of interest and vigor and entertainment and attraction and all of that to Marketplace Center, which is adjacent to Faneuil Hall, which I'm sure you guys are all very, very familiar with. And just as a personal note, I've not actually been to Boston very often. I never really make it much farther north of New York, and I'm sure you guys don't make it south of New York. So I had never been to Boston, and until we started to embark on this project. And I must say that it's an incredible city. I actually wish I had visited a lot sooner, particularly in my younger years. But now that I'm a little older, I can't wait to vacation here. And now hopefully we'll have a business here, it'll be even better. So, okay, so how did we get here? So the Museum of Illusions actually is an international success story. It's a concept that was founded in 2015 in Zagreb, Croatia, of all places, by two individuals, Roko Sivkovic and Tomislav Pamukovic. Hopefully I didn't butcher their names. No, they're actually great guys. And they were taking inspiration from their world travels as well as their marketing prowess. And they put together this concept called the Museum of Illusions with the intent to inspire and educate people from around the world. We, as LOL Entertainment, so the individuals on this call today, we are the largest franchisee of the Museum of Illusions concept in North America. We approximately have 80 employees across the country, most of which are sitting in our museums and dedicated to the day-to-day operations. We do have a small contingent of folks, mainly the people on the phone, that operate in our corporate function as well. But we're passionate about location-based entertainment and overall bringing Roko and Tomislav's vision to life. Currently, we have 4 operational museums as LOL Entertainment. We're located, our first location was in Chicago. We also have locations in downtown Philadelphia in Independence Mall. We have a location in Scottsdale, Arizona, and our newest location opened in December of 23, and that was in Pittsburgh in North Shore. Worldwide, apart from our group, there are corporate locations as well as probably 6 or 7 other franchise groups. Worldwide, there are 50 locations. Mainly, most of them are at the moment Europe, Asia, and Middle East, although it's proliferating quickly into the US, and we're very fortunate to be part of that. It is actually the largest private chain of museums in the world. And MOI Boston is set to be personally our biggest and most ambitious museum to date. And of course, we're very, very thrilled to bring it to the city. And we'll get into a little bit about what it is in the next slide. So what is the Museum of Illusions? So Museum of Illusions, simply put, is a one-of-a-kind edutainment destination. And what do we mean by edutainment? So it's really the cross-section of education meets entertainment. It's an immersive attraction that effectively allows our guests to interact, play, participate with our exhibits, but it also provides education, specifically educating them on perception and the human brain. So it's a little bit of illusions meets magic meets Instagram meets fun. And it kind of, it applies to many, many different situations, many different demographics. As I mentioned, the third point there, as it applies to demographics, it's also language and age agnostic. So we like to say everyone loves illusions. It's very easy to approach this attraction because as you enter it, although it does take some explaining to understand exactly how those illusions are playing tricks on your mind, interacting and engaging with them is fairly self-explanatory. We do have quite a few staff members on site that will assist and help educate the members or educate the guests, along with taking pictures and generally making the experience world-class. One of the things we're very proud of, and we think they'll do very, very well here in Boston, particular location that we're in, is we are an exciting option for students, teachers, and educators. So about 15% of our annual attendance is actually from school trips. And Stacy, who's on the line, is actually a former educator in Chicago Public Schools, and one of the reasons she joined our team, because there was this passion around educating students in STEM and science and technology and arts, et cetera, the kind of the STEAM, as we would call it. And this particular attraction really kind of intersects both the educational component as well as the entertainment component, and it's really appealing to children of all ages. And so we're very proud of that. And we believe in Faneuil Hall, or at least adjacent to Faneuil Hall, where we'll be in 200 Marketplace Center, will be a very good location to capture that type of audience. The experience lasts about 60 minutes. It's very highly rated and reviewed on Google, so you can look up any of our locations, specifically ours. We're roughly 4.6, 4.7 out of 5. Many of you have well over 1,000, 2,000 reviews. So we've been in the market for quite some time. Actually, our first Chicago location opened 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic. So that was an interesting entrepreneurial lesson, but luckily we're all out of that and moving on now to Boston. But overall, we've been just very excited and very fortunate to come across this concept and be able to maneuver it into the US market. Lastly, on this slide, we offer a smart play area. So it's kind of hand in hand with the educational component, but a lot of people get really wrapped up in what we call our puzzle bar or our smart play area. It's full of brain teasers and puzzles, so it goes hand in hand with the illusions. All of this kind of culminates into our retail piece, which is a fairly robust gift shop, which we can then sell and we'll promote all types of brain teasers, puzzles, illusions, and things of that nature.
Hey, Rob, just 1 second.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. I think we've been on the same slide. I just want to make sure.
He's reading from that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That one, but he's not.
We didn't see the previous slide.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. We're good. We're all,
Next.
yeah, we're synced up.
You good? Okay. Let me know if you need any clarification.
Yeah, we need to move on to the fifth. I think you're on the 5th slide, but we're not seeing it. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I'm on the 5th slide or 4th? I see 4, but are you seeing pictures on the left-hand side?
We've only seen slide.
Yeah, we've only seen slide 4. Or we're on slide 4 on the screen right
He's
now.
got the screen going, he's looking at presentation.
Oh, geez. I'm so sorry, guys.
Okay, you talked us
through it. Okay.
Yeah, we talked.
with
you. We were following you.
Hopefully I was articulate enough and you followed. But if you'd like to see it, here it is. And now we're back on the slide that we're all talking about, which actually is the
Okay.
So all the fluff about who we are doesn't matter. We want to focus on the Museum of Illusions and all these pictures. And I apologize for the quality of the deck. Hopefully it showcases a little bit. Of course, you can go to moiboston.com and we have a pretty world-class looking website and all kinds of interesting things that you can see and explore on that. But these pictures here are indicative of the types of exhibits that you'll see when you go to the museum. So fully immersive exhibits, usually we have around 80 of them within the museum. And what I mean by 80 is some of them are on the wall, so they're visual and they're more like pictures, stereograms, let's say. Then we have immersives like Vortex Tunnel here on the right-hand side with this gentleman. We have walking kaleidoscopes. The one on the bottom left, actually, this is Jason here and myself in our Ames room. So that's our big and small room. And we have a lot of forced perspective and mirror trickery that goes on in the museum. So it allows people to think about what's actually happening within the forced perspective world. But also then we can get great pictures and great mementos from the experience as well, which is very shareable on Instagram and organically. From a business perspective, it's very interesting because it markets itself. And it's very organic in that regard. Okay. Next slide. You see this one? Okay.
Yeah, yes.
So let's talk about benefits and impacts to Wharf District and Boston in general and downtown. I mean, there are many of them, we believe. Some of the ones that I wanted to call out for this committee and council is we are wholesome family entertainment. So we're not a nightclub. We're not bringing anything that's after hours. We are a museum, but we also offer an educational and immersive attraction that is entertainment focused as well. So we do both the entertain and the educate. We are expecting actually in Boston approximately 150 to 200,000 visitors annually to our location. That's fairly typical of our other locations, slightly less. And non-strong markets, I would say Boston is a big market for us, although all the other markets we're in are very large markets as well, but we're projecting big numbers for Boston. 20 to 30,000 of those are projected to be students, and we have seen year after year that student base grow. So it takes a little time to get into the market and people to understand our offering, but once we have educators and teachers and students go to our attraction, it typically compounds from there. And so word of mouth and halo effect are very big in our space. The two pictures you'll see at the bottom, that is of 200 State Street, Marketplace Center. So we're on the side facing Faneuil Hall and Quincy Market. We are adjacent to the Faneuil Hall Marketplace. The actual location is going to be second floor here, and I don't know if you see my cursor or not, but it's the second floor on the left-hand picture in Marketplace Center. We're taking about 9,000 square feet of experiential retail that will be brought to the center. As far as employment opportunity, we'll actually be bringing or providing 20 to 30 full and part-time employment opportunities to the area. So we're very excited about that. And overall, the cost of the investment is about $3 million. So we'll be doing it's all privately funded $3 million investment to Wharf District in downtown Boston. It actually, truthfully, is their most expensive build that we have ever endeavored. So we're very excited. I think one of the things that we've learned and iterated over time is when we launched in Chicago, we started in 2020. I thought we were very proud of that one. Of course, we work very well with our franchisor, and they're very buttoned up and a very large company and all of that good stuff. So they give us a lot of good support. They have an R&D department that is constantly producing new illusions. So the attraction is refreshed every 18 to 24 months. So we're constantly adding new attractions into our exhibits to bring repeat visits. But you'll notice in the Boston Museum, this one will be by far the most advanced museum that we have ever built. So we're very, very excited about it. So I knew I had 15 minutes and I went through this very quickly, but I will open it up to questions if anyone should have one or two.
I'm curious to know, what is it, the typical cost for people?
So the typical cost is will be about $35 for adults and about $30. We haven't quite figured it all out, but roughly $28 to $30 for children.
And you have to remember your name, young man.
Arturo.
Arturo. Yes.
This isn't really a question, it's more of a comment on some of Boston's treasured historic assets. You mentioned something about stereograms earlier, and here in Boston between the 1860s and 80s was probably one of the most prolific sites where stereograms were produced. In fact, one of the first handheld viewers was made here. Your site is looking for anything interesting, you may consider, I can share my contact info if you want me to point you towards the source of those, but I think it'd be something cool to share with folks, reproductions of those. For example, there's some very popular stereograms of State Street itself from the 1860s.
That's a wonderful idea. Yeah, we would love to exchange contact information. And that's one thing I did fail to mention was what we try to do is when we land in each city, we try to bring in as much as we can of that city to our museum. So for instance, in our Philadelphia location, we have a building illusion, which is a full length, about 14-foot mirror on an angle, and it casts a reflection off the floor of you looking like you're hanging off of Elfreth Alley or a building in Elfreth Alley, which is the oldest street in America. So those are the types of things that we look for to bring into the museum to make it specific to the city itself. So anything that you guys would have as far as recommendations on that front, we would be more than willing to take them. So thank you for that.
Any questions from folks? Well, I think you can start sharing now. We've been through the presentation, but any questions from folks on the Zoom call? I can't see everybody here yet. Are there any hands up? Y'all just sing out, Louise, if you have a question. Any questions? Well, because I work in tourism, I'm going to ask some because I can't help myself. And so I know you've probably looked at the seasonality component, which is probably one of the most challenging things about working in the tourism and attractions business here. We get very, very busy for a window of time, and then it tends to get rather slow in the wintertime. And we try our best to address that, but is that one of the things that you've kept in mind about how you're going to, things you're going to do in the off season to attract business and
Absolutely, and maybe I'll take that in two parts. One, I'll give you my view and perhaps hand it to Stacy, who's our marketing whiz. But I think to your point, seasonality is a big piece of the puzzle when it comes to our types of attraction. Now, the Museum of Illusions, we will market it very heavily to Bostonians, so locals first. We tend to get a very large lift off the local population pretty much throughout the year. It's as much as a local attraction as it is a tourist attraction. Now, given the location of where we were trying to marry the best of both worlds. We're probably leaning a little bit more tourists. So to your point, we have to be mindful of that. But yeah, there's always those dips. Certainly the summer months right now, you're going into prime season. When kids are off school, that's fantastic because you're getting people not only from Boston area, but also outside that are ascending on Boston to visit. But we do a number of other things. Stacy, perhaps I'll hand it over to you with regards to, different events, different charitable pieces that we would do throughout the year, but primarily focused on those dead times.
Yeah, so we do see that seasonality often in all of our other locations, and that's where we get creative, as Rob mentioned. So one of the things we like to do is events. We like to do special events, and we like to do them in partnership a lot of the time with charitable organizations that are local. So that is really important to us. Currently, actually, just last week, we wrapped up a Yappy Hour in Philadelphia, where guests were able to bring their dogs for dog-friendly hours. We gave half the proceeds back to Philadoptables, and it was a very popular event. It almost sold out. So we do like to do events like that. We brought in a bunch of small businesses and local vendors that make puppy ice cream and dog treats and little dog banners or bandanas that go around their necks and everything to make them cute when they're all groomed and everything. So, and that was a really successful event. We like to do those things during those off seasons and things that really appeal to the locals. That's really important to us. Again, promotions as well, bringing in the locals who may not otherwise come in during, peak season. And then school groups too, is really focusing on bringing in those school groups. We do welcome teachers in for free, so they can check out the museum and how it would translate in their curriculum that they're teaching their students. We do offer curriculum for teachers and resources when they do come in for a field trip. So we have them, that curriculum divided into grade bands. So, so we're hitting everywhere from the primary grades all the way up through high school and beyond. So it's, so we do get a little bit creative, and those community partnerships, as I mentioned, initially, is the most important thing for us. And we do probably 2 to 3 big community partnerships a year at each location.
Super. Well, this sounds like a really fun time and a really fun addition to the neighborhood. So thank you so much for presenting tonight, and we'll look forward to seeing progress. Do you start construction soon?
So almost. One of the reasons, clearly we'd love to share with you guys, and we're so happy and thrilled to be here. One of the reasons that we're doing a number of reach out, we're reaching out to the community, et cetera, is because we're going through a permit process. So yes, we are looking to build tomorrow if we could. But we have to play by the rules, and we got to do all those stuff we need to do. So, but we're hoping to be open by November is what we're aiming for. Yeah.
And I know that in the notes, the agenda, we see that you're looking for a letter of support for some reason. Can you just briefly state what that is for and who that will go to?
Sure. So the letter of support is, and I think Ciara's on the phone as well. But we are going through a permitting process, and our permit was flagged for a variance. So we're in the variance process. I believe it will go to the zoning board to ensure. I think it had something to do with us having a second floor location. I believe some obscure code in the system essentially flagged us and said you can't have artifacts on the second floors in Boston. So we got kicked into a variance position, and anything you could do to help us would be fantastic. So.
Okay. I think
Hi,
we-
yeah, I'm on the call. Sorry, this is Sierra.
Hey,
They
Sierra.
need relief from the zoning board, so they just have to go through the community process, which is why they reached you guys as well.
Well, when the time comes, I mean, I think, would we discuss that this evening or do you?
Yes, we will be discussing that this evening.
Okay, so after the public meeting is done, we'll go into executive session with the voting members and we will discuss getting on letter of support to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
Great, thanks for being here and best of luck to you and we'll hope to see you again.
Thank you. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay, all right, we have one more presenter before we get into some project updates, and we have several updates to go over with Wharf District Council related news. And Liz Nelson Weaver is here. Oh, yes, I see you. So Liz, I see you there, and she's going to be talking about a walking tour of the Wharf District called Taxes, Freedom, Independence. And so there she is. Hi, Liz. Can you tell us about you?
Good evening.
What you're up to?
Thank you so much for including me in your meeting today. Just to take a couple of minutes of your time, just wanted to let people know we're, I guess one could say, piggybacking on Harborfest, which is that we've created a Wharf District tour that very much incorporates Revolutionary War themes. So it's titled Taxes, Freedom, and Independence. And if folks who have been on my previous Wharf District tours, this one is different because, again, it very much touches onto how the wharves played into that era. So that's just a brief update. It's going to be on July 2nd at 5:30. So you can go from there to the concert at Christopher Columbus Park and then wait for the fireworks. Let's start off with the historic tour. We're going to be meeting at the Greenway where we always do, where we start the tours, right next to the carousel, right at the Harbor Islands Visitor Center is where we meet. And I think Suzanne included the Eventbrite link for folks to sign up. Because space is limited. It doesn't work if I have 100 people trailing behind me. So that's the news on that. And just a very quick update on the Rose Wharf signs. We've created signs to the interpretive signs that I talked about late last year. We have some for Rose Wharf, and they're just awaiting the approval of the Rose Wharf board before we send them off to a quick approval by BPDA, and then they're ready to go into production. So hopefully we'll see those in place later this summer.
Thank you. And for those of you who don't know, Liz Nelson Weaver is leader of the Friends of Boston Harbor Walk, which is associated with Boston Harbor now, a great organization. And Liz, I don't know if you were out at the Spectacle on Spectacle Gala, but it was a beautiful evening and we were very pleased to be a part of that. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Your partnership has been wonderful as well with the boat tours that we've been able to offer. So thank you very much. And yes, I should have said that I'm a member of Friends of the Boston Harbor Walk. Thank you for adding that.
Can I just add that on the meeting notices that were sent out, we do put the link to the website, which would allow you to register and to get tickets. Is that correct, Liz? Am I saying that correctly? And the tickets are $10 each, which is, I think, pretty reasonable. So
it's a bargain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So come join us.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we do have several items. Suzanne, I think the first thing that is an update, or I don't know who will.
Well, maybe Mark.
Mark, you want to talk about an update on the State Street project? The saga, the ongoing saga.
Right.
Well, we have a meeting, the officers of the Wharf District Council and of NURA have a meeting with the city on June 26th. We have requested that they offer a alternative to what they have already proposed. And we hold a small amount of hope that an alternative will be presented in response to our 3 years of objection to what they have put before us.
Essentially 6 years.
In the meantime, that we got an announcement that they are proceeding with the construction on Milk Street, contrary to what we had asked them to do. So we have a meeting on the 26th, and we'll see what happens. That's all I know.
And I will just add that the construction project of Milk Street has not changed an iota from its original rollout. There have been no changes as a result of any, well, there really wasn't much public engagement.
Well, there was some changes to the State Street as to where, some of the cars were parked, but anyway.
No, I mean, the Milk Street project.
No,
is-
Milk Street, not at all. Yeah, we proposed that be a two-way, and they have kept it at one way. So.
All right,
so-
so
They're all supposed to provide us with the backup data for the numbers that they had given us in the original presentation. So we're optimistic about receiving that information.
Are you? Okay.
I'm trying to be positive.
Yeah, good job. All right.
I said, live in hope. So I don't have any news of new members today. I think we have. What was that? I think, Mark, I think we mentioned Boston
We did.
BPX last
We did.
meeting, yes.
Yeah, we did.
So they're the latest to come on board, and we're looking forward to, actually, they had asked to possibly present at the July meeting. So Rebecca Stoddard is representing them, and I can't remember her colleague's name, but we're very happy to have BPX as new members of the Wharf District Council. And then the Climate Resiliency Project, Mark?
Yeah, we are, we have been designated as a recipient of a $125,000 grant from the Mass Office of Tourism and what's MOT stand for?
Travel and tourism, yeah.
Travel and tourism. Yeah. Travel and tourism. And so we are putting together our final paperwork for that. And that will allow us to continue with the strategic planning effort that had been identified as a part of our strategic planning process that we went through a couple of months ago, primarily focused around communications and advocacy. So
excellent.
We're hoping to have that in hand in short order.
It's wonderful. Great. That's very good news. And then Suzanne, you have information on this, this a letter came out or announcement?
A notice came out from the Boston Police Department and the Boston Traffic Department informing the delivery drivers for Grubhub and Uber Eats, and there's one other one, I can't. DoorDash.
Yeah.
That they are not really complying with the regulations associated with their operations when making deliveries. So they are cracking down on these, as they call them, unlawful operations. And they're putting them on notice that there will be consequences if they don't follow the regulations, and there are traffic violations involved in their operations. It's a 2-page, actually 3-page letter, which will be included with information on the website. But beyond what they're going to do, I'm not really sure. It doesn't say, other than that they intend to crack down.
I did look up today the Massachusetts regulations around mopeds and how they currently define mopeds and I can't remember the terminology. Yeah,
Scooters.
and motorized scooters. So there are regulations around this. There is a permit process, but it's apparently by the state rather than the city. So,
Well, that's because it's,
yeah, it would go through the DMV.
it's a Massachusetts, driving
Yes.
thing, so there are regulations which the Boston Police will enforce.
Oh, and is this part of the?
No, this was something separate.
These are drivers.
So any questions about this? I mean, obviously, this is just brand new news to us.
Right.
Something we'll continue to look at.
I don't have any more information on it, other than you can go on the Boston website and find it, what I'm reading to you, but we'll also share it with you on our website.
So are there any other announcements about any other matters? Before we are going to go into executive session for a couple of vote or two. But are there any announcements for anybody out there in the Zoom? Anything from you, Ciara, that you wanted to put out there? Any announcements?
No, I was gonna bring up what Suzanne did about the delivery that Yasha and, Boston Police Department sent that letter out to the delivery companies in hopes, to have a safer route for, the community and everyone that kind of deals with that issue as well. But other than that, we don't have any major updates. We do have the Celtics Parade Friday, so I hope everyone stays safe if they're out and about. Cambridge Street and Causeway Street will be shut down, and obviously a few others for the route. So it's all online. You can go on boston.gov. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, but I hope everyone is having a great week.
Thank you, Ciara. You too, Judy. I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just have a question. Part of what I try to do to keep my neighbors informed about what's going on is I had been sending them minutes of our meetings. And there was a period where there actually were PDFs of minutes and I could send them. I'm actually just checking on my phone and I can't access anything, but the last few times I checked, all I had was a recording of the meeting. Is that what we're doing, or are we actually creating minutes to help us share? Because if I send my neighbors a recording of the 2-hour meeting, that's not going okay. So what's the story with that?
We have the minutes as well. I thought they were posted. I believe they're posted, aren't they, Suzanne?
They should be posted. I'll follow up with your question, but we are producing written minutes.
Every time, yeah. We have a wonderful stenographer who her name is Flory, and she has been taking care of us from her home in Peru. And she is in Europe for the summer, and she is going to be continuing. Thank you very much, Flory. When you get this recording, you will know that we're still thinking of you.
So
I can say that from a mobile device, you can't access anything from the meetings, at least from my iPhone.
All right, we'll check that. They're supposed to be on there.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Judy.
Mhm.
And I appreciate you getting information out to your neighbors. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other questions before we close the public part of the meeting? All right. Well, thank you all for attending, and please do heed the heat warnings and make sure you stay safe and certainly enjoy the warm weather, but take care and be safe over these next few days. And thank you for being with us tonight.
And can I just?
Suzanne has
Sorry,
this. Go ahead.
If there's anybody that has an agenda item that they would be interested in us following up on, please let us know. So.
Yes, we'll start building the agenda for the July meeting, so.
We've already started, so the next.
Great. So we're going to go into executive session. Thank you, everyone. If you're leaving us, I want to know more about those stereographs. I know. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've given her.
Thank you.
Thanks, yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Yes, would the voting members only stay on for this next, for the executive session? Tyler, we appreciate you coming tonight, but you're free to exit. There you go.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Oh, there was a gentleman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's been minutes on the site.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, really?
When it got redesigned, it must have got lost.
Oh, that could have happened.
Yeah.
Mark, I'll be sitting in for Neil.
Okay, I'll follow up with, Bob made a note, I'll follow up with Barb on that.
There's a section that says miss our last meeting, and then it just linked all the recording.
Oh,
Okay, well, we can rectify
we have
that.
them. We
We
can
have
get
them.
them on those PDFs, you know.
Thank you for Judy for telling us about
Yes,
that.
goodness, yes, thank you. All right,
We've got 3 items requiring a vote or a support letter. We've been through all 3 of them, but obviously the first one is the Trillium non-live entertainment license. Does anybody have any questions?
Stephen, okay with you?
Yeah, it's fine if it's at that kind of, so long as it doesn't drown out my music.
Well,
I think the important piece that I took away from that is that they will be held accountable for keeping it at
It was very
a
specific.
reasonable level.
Yeah.
And they sounded open to, and, you know, we can always bring in the big gun if Chris Cook needs to be called.
who said Chris?
Yeah.
Well, we've never had a problem with
No,
that.
no,
we
right?
haven't, so.
I think if it's overhead or not live music, it's must be more conversational audio.
Yes, it's fun. It's just to create an
So
atmosphere.
it's noisy board games, that's just.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. It's on the application. That's why I mentioned it.
God, Candyland.
So are there any objections at all? I don't mean to
Nope,
usurp.
go ahead,
your-
go ahead.
Are there any objections? So,
Yeah, I object.
go ahead. Raymond, go ahead, please, speak your objection.
No, I just think we got enough music. I don't want any more music, and it's disturbing. So I object to any more music. Music and marijuana, I'm against.
Okay.
Do we actually do a formal vote for house?
We do have a formal vote, yes.
So would all of those in favor of the letter of support, those of you on Zoom, you can either, if you're on the camera, you can raise your hand, or you can use the raise hand icon. If it's a yes, please. If it's a yes. And if it's no, just hold on a minute. I see. There, see there, okay.
2, 4, 5.
And looking around the room,
Yes.
okay. All right, those of you can put your hands down now, and those of you voting no, I know there's one no at least, but anyone voting no, you may, those opposed. See one.
One.
Who is on iPad on mute? Can I ask?
Yes, who is on iPad?
Just says iPad.
Hello, Mr. iPad or Ms. iPad, whoever that is. Someone's on an iPad that just says iPad.
All right, I'm just removing that person.
You can probably put it down, Scott.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Right. All right. well,
And one opposed, okay,
and one opposed.
okay,
Raymond, thank you for speaking up. I appreciate you voicing your.
absolutely.
opinion.
Thank you. I hate to always be the only one to vote negative on some of these things, but
It's okay. It's a democracy. Good.
The next one is at 281 Franklin Street. That is the building that's being converted from an office building to condominiums. And they are asking for our support in their application for money from the historic tax. So, and
I see.
the project was presented to the Wharf District Council at a previous meeting, which hopefully many of you attended.
I see no objection to that. I don't even know why we're involved in it, but anyway, whatever.
I think they just want support. Just full disclosure, I represent the developer, so I'll recuse myself, but I think they're just looking for a letter of support for the tax credit.
Oh, okay, fine. Well, I think it's we support their project, so.
I can't imagine anyone would have vote opposed, but is anyone opposed to that?
Well, I think it's important because it shows the community's involvement
Yes.
with this development. So I
Sure.
think it's a good sign.
Yeah, good, great.
So unanimous support.
Unanimous, any opposition?
Any opposition?
I just love these sessions. I think there was only one session where we ever objected to anything. Okay, and that's unanimous. And the last one is the Museum of Illusions. And they would like a community support letter.
So cool. So cool.
Yes. Yeah, yes. I think it would be a nice, just something very different and fun and.
Talk about a year-round attraction.
Yeah, Sheila was just saying that she's been to the one in Philly.
Bring people here.
Right.
I love the community aspect of the students.
The educational piece.
Yeah. And they're, sounds like they have a sincere commitment to that.
So yeah, bring that in is great.
So.
I think it's a great opportunity because we've all talked about things that are hurting this, the seasonality of it is hurting so much that, and if they're able to move forward, they're kind of being able to open up just as the weather is starting to turn later in the year. So I think it's a great opportunity.
Absolutely. That was Tim Carr from Old Town Trolley.
Yes.
And good point.
If they offer senior discounts, I'm in.
You'll have to wait till you're a senior, Norm.
All right, sounds like there's no opposition to that either, right? Anyone opposed to a letter of support for this new museum? Great.
Wonderful. Thank you all.
Well, thank you all so much for being here, and thank you for having patience with my technical difficulties. Great to see you all. Thank you.
Thanks
Bye,
all.
Mark.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.